Shout out to everybody here. My name is Samuel James Price, and every single day I do a show called the Crypto Lifer Show. And every single day on that show, we come together as the lifers. I'm the Crypto Lifer, and the people watching all the lifers together, we make the lifer community, the lifer brigade, lifer army, whatever you want to call it. And we're strong. Lifer's strong. And we go over the news together every single day to see kind of what's happening. Again, show me the charts and I'll show you the news. We look for the charts to kind of teach us the most, but the news really can propel us up or down. And it also can tell us kind of what's happening, if there's a connection between some big chains, if something's being used as an oracle that wasn't before, and stuff like that we see. Right off the bat, I mean, Binance US getting hammered, sees 78% decline in market depth following SEC lawsuit. Of course, Binance US market depth plunged 78% after being sued by the SEC, raising concerns over liquidity as market makers exit the platform. I mean, it's experienced a staggering decline in market depth across 25 crypto assets, dropping by 78% since the announcement of the Securities and Exchange Commission lawsuit brought against it. Binance CEO Chang Peng on June 5th. The primary reason behind the plummeting market depth can be attributed to the swift departure of market makers from Binance US platform in the wake of the lawsuit. The crypto data from Keiko sparking concerns about liquidity and raising questions about the future of the exchange. I mean, they single-handedly try to just break it to the downside. I mean, it's just horrible. Not the best thing, right? Bank of China, though, BOCI issues first tokenized security in Hong Kong on Ethereum. It's a big deal. Blockchain's going to continue to grow. They're going to use blockchain. That's the key to find out where they're going to move the money into blockchain. Binance Labs and FundPlus lead $6.6 million investment in Fusionist. Talked about that yesterday real quick. I would Google Fusionist, find out what it is. Might be something you want to know about, right? And Robinhood says crypto trading volumes plummet 43% in May. Robinhood reported Monday that crypto trading volume plummeted 68% in May. Based on last year's performance, crypto trading volume declined 43% since April. And this is what's supposed to happen. They make it boring, it gets hard, and people leave the market. And it's only the strong that survive. These are the prices on the lows where people are able to 100x, 200x, 500x. But you got to pay attention. You got to be in the mix. Most people are going to run out, and they're going to miss out. Only the strong survive, and there's always perks to people that stay inside an industry when most people run away. It's just how it is. It's in every industry. Ordinal's recursive inscriptions could unlock 3D video games on Bitcoin. Wow. And if you can see, these new recursive inscriptions are getting interesting. Ordinal developers have introduced recursive inscriptions, allowing inscriptions to work together. This enabled inscriptions larger than 4 megabit limit placed on the contents of a Bitcoin block. Ordinal developers have introduced a method called recursive inscriptions to overcome Bitcoin's 4 megabit per block size limitations that restricts the size of NFTs. Previously, inscriptions representing tokens and NFTs on Bitcoin were independent of one another, unaware of other inscriptions. This new feature allows inscriptions to reference the content of other inscriptions using a special syntax that was brought into the Ordinal system on June 10th. This just happened 2 days ago. This simple change unlocks many powerful use cases, said Synonymous developer Leonidas, who's building the Ordi marketplace for inscriptions. Focused on chain inscriptions on Bitcoin network, the Ordinal protocol came to prominence earlier this year, enabling the creation of BRC20 tokens and NFTs, causing a surge in Bitcoin transactions and fees on the network. Recursive inscriptions, however, can enhance efficiency and reduce cost. For example, instead of individually inscribing thousands of JPEG files for a profile picture collection, developers can inscribe the collection's traits and programmatically render the images through small amounts of code in subsequent inscriptions. The approach not only streamlines the storage of artwork on-chain, but also presents the opportunity to save on transaction fees. The art is just stored on-chain in a much more efficient way, which could have saved over $1 million in transaction fees in the case of Bitcoin apes. Yes, but it also took away from the Bitcoin miners, right? They were getting all that money. But again, we'll see if they, and building video games now. Taking the concept further, combining inscriptions can enable additional functionality beyond 4 megabits Bitcoin block limit. While the size of each inscription would exceed this limit, the combined inscription can. This could lead to use cases including complex 3D video games. Each part of the game's code could be stored in different inscriptions. Right now, there are already very simple games that are stored on Bitcoin and can be interacted with. Some can be played on the Ordi.io marketplace. Beyond this, there could even be an internal internet within Bitcoin. This would efficiently transform Ordinal Marketplace and Explorers into Bitcoin web browsers, allowing users to surf the blockchain and explore its ecosystem. I mean, this is getting big. And as you can see, we're not going to stop. And Bitcoin itself, everyone said it's a dinosaur. It's never going to innovate. And I used to say and laugh at people, you don't think Bitcoin's going to innovate? You don't think Bitcoin's going to get a bit of a move? You don't think something's going to happen with Bitcoin? Is going to stay stagnant, the most known, famous, basically tech in the world? I don't think so. SEC crypto crackdown adds urgency for U.S. lawmakers to produce regulatory framework this year. Without a more solid legal framework, cryptocurrency activity will probably continue moving outside the U.S. and into decentralized entities. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission lawsuits against Binance and Coinbase highlight the need for U.S. lawmakers to come up with a comprehensive framework on how to regulate the crypto industries and relative responsibilities of the SEC versus the Commodity and Futures Trading Commission. JP Morgan said in a Thursday research report, the SEC thinks most cryptocurrencies should be classified as securities, and therefore most crypto companies and trading should fall under its supervision and comply with regulatory frameworks that are currently applied to other securities. This isn't a straightforward legal case. It is unclear which cryptocurrencies would be classified as securities. Analysts led by Nicholas Panergirzoglu wrote, the SEC versus Ripple case is a reflection of the lack of legal clarity. Yeah, they would have been able to just slap them with the lawsuit, but it's going this long. The regulatory said last week it was suing Binance founder CEO Changpeng Zhao, and the operating company Binance US on allegations of violating federal securities law. A day later, it sued the rival exchange Coinbase on similar charges. The moves are creating more urgency for U.S. lawmakers to come up with a comprehensive regulatory framework by this year. Until this happens, crypto activity will likely continue to move outside the U.S. and into decentralized entities. Crypto venture capital funding will also remain subdued. So sad. If the SEC stance is confirmed by lawmakers, Coinbase, Binance US, and other U.S. exchanges would have to register as brokers, and most cryptocurrencies would be treated as securities. While this could be more onerous and costly for the industry, it would bring some positives because crypto markets would be properly regulated and offer more transparency and investor protection. Interesting. Chainlink unveils crypto keepers and anti-fraud blockchain bridges, which is a big deal, right? Keepers can do things like execute limit orders, liquidate under collateralized loans, and just remind a blockchain what time is. Hey, it's time to do this, time to do that. And the Oracle, Chainlink will continue to be an Oracle and used throughout multiple chains. Remember, that's what keeps Chainlink alive. It's interoperability between chains. Cardano developer IOG restructures to venture studio model, lays off some staff. The blockchain research and engineering company has cut jobs as it pivots to a smaller venture studio business model. Cardano developer Input Output Global has laid off an unspecified number of employees as the company restructures into a venture studio with a smaller core business model. IOG and Cardano co-founder Charles Hoskinson told CoinDesk, IOG has been restructuring into a venture studio where its core is smaller and has many spin-offs. He added, as we move into this new business model, we consolidated and eliminated groups that are redundant or not relevant to the new model. The new venture studio model will have a number of spin-offs, including Wallet Division, Lace, and Identity Framework, Prism, and Cardano-related infrastructures. According to Hoskinson, most executive staff at the IOG level were cut. Meanwhile, he said IOG has hired CEOs for Midnight and RealFi, who in turn have hired additional staff. Long-term, I expect 3 to 5 companies per year to be spun out, Hoskinson said. Under this model, things like the strategy and commercial aren't monolithic. They are pushed to the spin-outs under the CEOs. It also puts less stress on him as he's kind of juggling an entire megalo, stack of all these different things. He can kind of, spin it off, right? And other CEOs can take on those responsibilities. It is sad, though. I mean, you still see some laying off, and you see that the market is somewhat shrinking with everything going on recently. And that's the news, everybody. Thank you so much for the news, and I appreciate each and every one of you for hearing the news and jumping on in every single day.